Cool. Hey Zaria, good afternoon. Good to have you on. Let me just afternoon. Okay, where we at? Pull that on, pull that on. 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10. Right, cool. Hey guys, we're back on the inside there. So you can take a read. This one is a kind of theory question, just a question and answer. I'm still printing it out for you all so you all can write in the answer if anything. But you can take a little read in the meantime. So it says T Green is a new employee who started work at the beginning of the month. She complained to management that her contract stated her gross pay would be $2,500. However, she received $2,200 in her bank account. State one reason why T Green's take-home pay could be less than the gross pay stated in her contract. Tax, NIS. What's the umbrella term? No, Mila, this is PoA. Deductions, right? The reason why her take-home pay would be less than her gross pay is because there are statutory deductions to consider. All right? William, we don't know start. You miss anything? Right, come on. Any asset registration thing on the top, that is just the more. Yeah, that's the only thing we really do. Now, why is this actually to a stock valuation and employee pay? Yes. All right, NDB, you late? No. I don't know nothing. Well, what? If that's the case, Jammy Boo. You want, if you need a pass or you want a pass on it, maybe just hang one paper and paper. Jammy Boo, that might be a tough one, boy. That might be a tough one. You wanna do as well as you can on that paper one, paper two, sorry. All right. 20, we're going on. What other topics you doing after? Check my channel for the previous lives. Tomorrow is just ratios. I'll be back, right? You know, so hard. Chirano. Let me know what's going on there. Smoking wine, right? Cool. All right. So, folks, state one reason why T Green's take-home pay could be less than the gross pay stated on the contract, right? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna call it out, right? You all want it tight? This is the Jan. So this is Jan 2019, guys. Jan 2019. Right. So when they tell you the gross pay in your contract, that is the pay to attract you. But there are, as we said, statutory deductions that have to be taken out and paid to the government, right? So J19. One sec. Actually, no. You know what? So one reason why we right. I'm gonna zoom in. I want to zoom in a little. All right. So one reason why T dot Green's take home pay is less than the gross pay stated in the contract is, as we said, statutory deductions, right? So if you want to properly, right, is that statutory deductions, right, have to be, come on, the controller council. So you need to check out my channel. Controller accounts not bad. Mandy, good afternoon. How you doing, buddy? Good to have you on. Right. Yeah, missed too much. We do an employees pay. We did some of the 2020's question in the earlier session. You wanted 145 session. Yeah. So we're back with the 2019, right? Susan with CXC, right? Everything. Well, 20. Yeah, if that's the case, you had to take it slowly, like on easy mode. Practice questions. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Sorry. Let me see. Right. So have to be taken out from her pay and remitted to the government, right, by her employer. You could, to be honest, right? Now the thing is, they're giving you 2 marks for this, right? I would strongly suggest that you write in a complete sentence. That's what I'm trying to say, right? If you just put NIS or deductions, right? Because it's not 2 reasons there. They ask for 1 reason. So if you just put the reason, you might get a mark. You mightn't get 2 marks. It might be giving you like the 2nd mark for the structure of your answer. Which again, I mean, at this stage in your life, you should be able to write whole sentences. All right? Coherent whole sentences that make sense, I should say, right? Devin, good afternoon, right? Don't worry, this is just your first question. You didn't miss much. You don't want to pay to do it over. I understand. Balance sheet come most times. Check that again. At a balance. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. My bad. Good. Right, we go in again with who demand them. And ratios. Lisa, tomorrow is ratios from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Right? Yeah. That was the last thing we had on the agenda. We cover everything else. Lie. We didn't do like T accounts for like revenue expenses, depreciation, for bad debts. So you see, 1 sec. Okay. I'm gonna put up what to do when the teachers didn't finish syllabus. Avish, most teachers they finish, or if they finish, they rush, right? And what to do? Use my channel. That way to do. All right, cool. Okay, Google Meet. Give me a quick G in the chat if you're good with that. Bush, when last income statement come? 2022. Yeah, check it. All right, hold on. Let me answer those questions, right? They brought you a balance sheet in Jan 2024, but they gave it to you, the horizontal format, which not really supposed to be there. All right, hold on. So let me just real quick, because people were asking a couple of questions, right? Right. 2025 January had no income statement, no balance sheet. Right. 2024 January balance sheet in a horizontal format, no income statement. Right. 2023 January. Nope. Anybody seen it? Balance sheet, income statement? Nope. That's exactly it. Hold on. 2022, January, control accounts, statutory deduction, definition, depreciation, ratios, error correction, ratios again. 2021, income statements and adjustments with a balance sheet extra. All right. 2020, income statement with adjustments. So there was it 2020, and say, oh, that's too often. Let me take a break. Like, blasted idiot. Anyhow, sorry, yeah. Yep. Right, 2024, last year. Cash book, bank rec, LLCs, partnerships, budgets. Anybody seen income statement or balance sheet there? Oh, sorry, look, Jordan. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Yeah, Jordan, we're doing some payroll questions today, but people were just asking about when last income statements came. So in January, they came in 2020, 2021 with a piece of balance sheet. Neither have come back since January. We're now checking the May papers, right? So nothing, income statement, balance sheet in last year, right? 2023. All you seeing it? No. There we go again. 2022. Petty cash. Receipts and manufacturing. Business plan and absorption costed. No income statement. No. Balance sheet extra. The capital section only. Right. No income statement, a piece of it, not the whole. And then it was a part B to our question with a piece of a bank record after, right? Right, no balance sheet, right? 2019 balance sheet was the first question. 2019, it wasn't the regular type. So when I say they gave you like statements and you had to make a balance sheet from that, it wasn't like a trial balance, right? You had a partnership income statement, piece of it in 2019, so kinda, but not really. Really? No, 2022. Look at it right there. And 23. Yeah, that I know it. All right. 2017's income statement. That was an unusual one, but it was there. Yep. So you see, the income statement and the balance sheet, two of the basically the end products of the whole accounting process, they do bring. For what reason? They might surprise. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't know. Absorption costing. We did that 2 days ago. Yesterday, Saturday. All right, check out the replay from yesterday. Right, sorry guys. Okay, so let me go back on point there. Right. Okay, the next thing that we are doing payroll wise, let me see. All right, so we just did Jan 2019, right? Okay, so Jan 2018 now. Okay, so we have a couple there. This one have calculations, right? I do. They're laughing or they're crying? They're screaming, right? Yeah, this one had calculations. So let me print it out for everybody. Right, so again, this is Jan 2018, right? Google Meet, you will find this in your respective chats on WhatsApp. You should get download it from there, right? Moo, yeah man, moo, going on. Hate it, surprises. Once you know the format, no. You had to know the format and know how to use it and hope what they bring could fit what you know. That will always happen. What's that? Your teacher said it's going to come? Well, ask your teacher for lots of numbers, please, Bush. Right, because they're wicked. Sure. Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, so let me take a little read in the meantime. Factory workers at the Sharp Break Limited are paid $40 an hour, Monday to Friday, and time and a half on weekends. The time card below shows the number of hours worked by each employee during a given week. Okay, time card. So, you marsh, I stop, D Park, H Drive. You marsh, get it? You marsh in the gas? The marsh gas. I stop, D Park, H Drive. Right. So, please note, what day is at the top here? Sunday. What is the bottom? Saturday. Now, technically speaking, the week does start on the Sunday, but we say Monday, right? Monday, Tuesday, right? Anyhow, so please note the top row and the bottom row are weekends, and time and a half applies on weekends, right? So you have marsh, stop, park, drive. Okay. Deductions include the following: national insurance, 5% of gross pay; contribution to pension fund, 3% of gross pay; income tax, 25% of pay after deducting national insurance and pension fund contributions, right? So complete the form below by inserting the information for the four employees. So they want to know the hours worked, the total pay, the hours worked, total pay. So the first two columns are regular weekdays. That's 40 hours, right? The next two columns, that's for weekends. So that's overtime, right? And then the gross pay. So the gross pay would be the sum of the middle column here and the second to last column here. All right. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll leave this up on the screen. This is the source information. But you know what? I could actually split it because we should probably view the format they're giving us. All right. Those in class, I will be giving you a thing. Right. Okay. So for down here, we could do a 150. We do 150 here. Yes, I. All right. Left eye, right eye. Petty cash and cash are the same thing. No. You're losing it. That's okay. That's happening. I have to go back to 150. Who that? Sachin. Right, cool. Take the pressure. Sachin, what's going on? Sachin here. Cool. Some statement complicated. Yeah. Yeah, we start back around just about 4 o'clock. Yeah, missed too much. We do a little theory question asking about net pay versus gross pay, or why somebody would receive less money than the contract states. And the reason was because, well, the employer has to make deductions based on the government, the statutory deductions. This is the 2018 Jan question, right? The top half, well, this is already in the WhatsApp chat. You could pull it down. You could download it. In stock valuation. Yeah, Bush, check out my playlist on income statements. Break it down real nice, piece by piece. Most people say solve them real plenty, right? It's just that you have a very short time frame. So when it feels rushed, it's a lot less palatable. All right, so for March, 8786. I feel I will open my solution for this and pull it and just copy and paste it. Yes, because save a little bit of time. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, all right, cool. There we go. Okay. You know what? Just to save a little bit of time, I'm gonna pull my solution from Jan 2018, right? Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look, right? So for you, Marsh, it's a mashup, a mashup. Right, 4 and 8 is 12, and 7 is 9. No, you can't add 4. 8 and 7 is 15. 8 and 6 is 14. 15 and 14 is 29. Right. 29 by 40, which is regular hour. Sorry, regular pay for Monday to Friday. Right, so 29 by 40 is that. Cool. I stop. 8 and 7 is 22. 22 plus 28. 28 by 40, 1120. Deepak. 8 and 7, 8 and 7, that's 38. 38 by 40, 1520. And drive. 868. Hey, I try another country code, boy. All right. 22, 29, 37. 37, so 1480. Right. Now, Saturday and Sunday, Marsh, when you had Sunday, as a 4. Now, time and a half is 1.5 times 40. Half of 40 is 20. And 40 plus 20 is 60. Right, cool. And 40 by 60 is 240. Right, next. 4 and 4 is 8. 8 by 60 is 480. 4 and 4 is 8, same 8. And 3 and 4 for drive is 7. By 60 is 420. Right, and then we add these two columns here to get the final figure. So 1160 and 240 is 1400. 1120 and 480, 1600, etc. 1520 and 480, 2000, and 1480 and 420 is 1900. All right, how are we feeling with that? Google Meet, give me a quick G in the chat if you're good with that. If you need me to re-explain anything, give me an R. All right, cool. Thank you, Sachin. No, I'm smoking later. Go on. Sorry. Right. R. Okay, no problems. Right. So once again, what they give you a table to fill out, right? Hours work Monday to Friday, total pay Monday to Friday. So what you have to do for each employee, you have to add up the number of hours. So yeah. Right. So for you, Marsh, you're gonna add up these figures here: 8, 7, 8, and 6. Right? That gives you 29 for Monday to Friday. And the regular rate of pay is 40 an hour. So you're multiplying 29 by 40 to get that, right? For you stop, you're adding up these middle figures here: 8776. Right? That gives us 28, which is then multiplied by 40, right? Deepak. Add up these, you get 38. By 40 is 1520. Right? And for age drive, you add up these in the middle here because they correspond to Monday to Friday. Right? You get 37, multiplied by 40 is 1480. Right? For the hours worked on Saturday and Sunday, right, you add up the item in the first row and the last row. Hey, Axel, afternoon. Right? Doing some employees pay payroll calculations here. We're on Jan 2018. Right. Yeah, so sorry. The top and the first and the last row. And then if it's on the weekend, is time and a half. So you multiply 40 by 1.5, you get 60. So these figures here are all being multiplied by 60 to get this. And then you add up your Monday to Friday pay plus your Saturday and Sunday pay to get your gross pay. All right, so I hope that helps. Okay, cool. Now, the next thing they want us to do, I'm gonna put that down, right? Maximize this. Oh, sorry, hold on. Yeah. Oh, right. So prepare the payroll for the 4 employees. So the final column that we got just now, this gross pay, right? Those figures you're going to use to populate this column here, right? Then your NIS is 5% of gross pay. Pension is 3% of gross pay. Taxable income. So you have to minus these two things from your gross pay to get taxable income. On that, you're going to find 25%, right? Which is your income tax. And to find your net pay, you have to take column 3, column 4, and column 6. You add those together and subtract from your gross pay to get your net pay. All right. So, try thing. To find net P, it'll be your gross P minus this, this, and this. No problem. What are the likely chances that manufacturing will be present? Or do I have any idea? Boy, that'll have a higher chance to appear. I don't, sorry. Again, I'm gonna try to teach sometime later and enter some info into ChatGPT, right? What I will also, well, what I did yesterday is I put up all the topics that came every year, well, year by year, on my Insta stories. So you can check it out there and see if you can figure it out. Yeah. The NI deductions, pension, income tax, add up those three and subtract from gross pay. Net pay is the total of everything minus gross pay. Total deductions, Bush. Total deductions. Yep. All right. I'll give you a couple of minutes again, right? Yeah, yeah, NBB, don't worry. I understand what you're saying. Tomorrow, ratios. Right. So the taxable income is right. You have to deduct these two things from your gross pay. That'll give you a taxable income. And then to find income tax, you find 25% of that figure. What do I think will be in paper 2 this year? I don't know. We took a look just now at the topic for the past like 8-9 years. We saw income statements and balance sheets hardly appear. That was the takeaway, basically. They chose to bring stuff like budgets. Well, they brought manufacturing, cash book, little piece of bank rec here and there. It was a T accounts question a couple times. Yeah. To get net P, right, you have to take gross NI deductions, pension deduction, and income tax all have to be added together and then subtracted from gross P, right? So these three things, you add them together and you subtract it from gross P. Okay. That's net pay. That's correct. Wasn't on 40,000 there, boy. You know, some people is real amaze me. Have the video up on YouTube with the ratios. Give the formula. So it's have a current ratio and a quick or asset test ratio, right? Current ratio is this: current assets divided by current liabilities. Quick ratio or asset test is current assets minus closing stock, divide that by current liabilities. Comment is, so you're sure it's not the same thing? So you're sure the formula different? Somebody on one of my videos, right? This comment real confident that I wrong, right? Now every now and again, yeah, sure, us make a mistake, right? So isn't the asset test ratio and the current ratio the same thing? So is the asset test ratio formula different from the current ratio formula? You watch the video? Yeah. What you asking the obvious? I try to respond to all. I try. He might misinterpret. And sometimes as yeah, let's do the question. Yeah, you should try the question. Yeah. Right. So all ready? There we go. Okay. So first things first, you're gonna take these figures here. So let me clear out everything here, right? We're gonna take so we're taking these figures here, 14, 16, 2019, and just pasting them here, right? You okay with that? Cool. Right, NI deductions, right? Cool. So, oh, it's 3%, so NI is 5%, right? Gross pay is, sorry, pension fund is 3%. Income tax is 25%. Right. Now, the national insurance deduction is 5% of this figure here, right? $70, $80, $195. Anybody can confirm those figures? All right, cool. Next. Well, Venom technically isn't a Marvel movie. It's a Sony Spider-Verse movie. Venom technically isn't a Marvel, like an MCU movie. Which Spider-Man you saw? The last one. Right. So the last good Marvel movie. Right. Okay. Are we okay with this? We okay with these first two columns? Sorry, these second and third columns here? Right. Axel, this is employees pay, also known as payroll. How much pay this is pay people usually have? Why we're burning number of pages was? It could return 20 to 40. So let me say 30 on average, right? Put Jesus is the answer. All right, cool. Now to find taxable income. Yes, right. So taxable income is gross pay minus these first, well, the second and third column, right? So it's this minus this minus this. Right. So I have 1288, 1472, 1840, 1748. You have them figures? Anybody? Anything? Yep. All right. Now, the income tax is 25% of that figure. So for income tax, I have 322, 368, 460, and 432. Yes? No? Maybe? Talk to me. Yeah? All right, cool. Now, the net pay is equal to gross pay minus all the deductions, including income tax. Those are the figures I have for net pay. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, Google Meet. You know the drill. If you're good with that, give me a quick Genie chat. If you need me to re-explain, give me an R. Let me know what this is. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you get the point. 2018. Yeah, this is the Jan 2018. Solomon. All right, folks on this side, we okay with that? Far side, we okay? Any questions? Anybody? Anything? No? Okay. All right. Well, as you can see, it comes pretty often, right? But it switches, eh? Like I said, look, Jan 2025, May 2024, May 23, Jan 22, May 21. Well, 2020 had no exam. In Jan 2019, Jan 2018, May 2017, May 2016, Jan 2015, May 2014, 2013, Jan 2012. Not in 2011. 2010, 9, 8 in Jan. No 7 or 6, but 5 and 4. And probably had before that too. But I kind of very much hope it comes. A negative. For whom? Yeah. Yeah, you're not minusing this, eh? I took away too much? Yeah, probably. Right? Is this plus this plus this minus from this. Right? Yeah. This was just to facilitate the calculation of that item. All right. Oy. All right, ready? Look up and down, anybody? No? Okay, cool. There we go again. Right, where would I? I would here. All right, so we're going to just clears out that word. Stovecraft. Yeah, there's a big one, I think. All right, so this is the May 2017 question. Right, they give you a kind of format here to use, so you all could use that, right? All right, let's take a little read, right? So it says, Stovecraft Cooperative owns a small hotel consisting of 10 guest rooms called Crusoe Getaway. Right, what year, May 2017, right? The cooperative employs a front desk manager, a housekeeper, and a cook. Each employee is paid using a different method of payment. The following information is presented to you. So S Vestiga, right? Vestiga, front desk manager, $1,300 per month. L Pategao, housekeeper, 20 per guest room per day. P Adams, cook, right? So 15 per hour, double time for hours worked over 160 hours per month. All right, cool. Give the proper names of any two of the payment methods that may be used by Stovecraft. Right, so the first one is the fixed rate or monthly salary. The second one is piece rate. So every room you clean, you get $20. But you can't clean the same room over and over. That's why I said $20 per room per day. Right, so you clean room 1, good. You can't go back and clean room 1, 4, and 5 times. Right? And next one, 15 per hour as an hourly rate, and the double time is overtime. Long story short. Cool. Now, let me give out the question papers. You can take a read of this stuff. Yeah. Right, the back page you can use for your use that to put in your solutions. What? Right, other than that, you can write it out regular. So only to your years with this stuff. Well, but technically it didn't come this year because one should put the question coming back. They don't use anybody not get? Oh, I put 12 copies in this. Bar. Right, during March 2016, payroll information was extracted. Yo, yeah, no problem. Yeah. Payroll information was extracted. Time rate, and t-shirt, hourly rates. Right. Right. Okay. So this one here. So Vestiga, 1 month. So 1 month's pay. Statutory deductions, 5%. The second table. Uh-huh. No, what they're talking about. So that there to me is a payment method, right? So what I normally call this is like a compensation method or compensation technique is the wrong word, but it lose me, right? But method is perfectly fine to be honest, right? So that's where the confusion I was having because, like I said, none of that is mentioned in syllabus. So that's why I'm a little confused, right? But it there, these questions there, so we had to answer them, right? Okay. So like okay, so the first one, 1,300 per month, you could say it's a fixed salary or fixed rate of monthly salary, fixed monthly salary, right? The 20 per guest room per day, that is piece rate, PIECE, yeah? Right, piece rate. It's not sticking. What not sticking? Piece rate. PIECE. Not like piece, not that kind of piece. Right? And the last one here, $15 per hour as an hourly rate. Right? All right, so what paper? Sorry, 2018. On and IT. IT is learn it TT. Or make it simple. Make it simple. Sorry, not learn it. Make it simple TT. For IT for sure. Hourly rate. Clara, I don't know. I never watched his stuff. Ichika Ikawa. That is correct. How come and go? I like that name by the way. Super glue to make it stick. Okay. So 5% for national insurance, 3% for pension plan. Income tax after all statutory deductions. So what it's telling you here is that to calculate income tax, you have to take out the NIS and the pension plan. So just as the previous question did, remember what we did to find taxable income? We took the gross pay, subtracted national insurance and the pension plan, and that gave us taxable income. The figure that we would then multiply by the tax percent. All right. So that's what it's saying here. So the income tax is after all statutory deductions have been made. So right. So for Vestiga, you have 1 month. So Vestiga's gross pay is how much? 3,009, right? For El Patigo, they work 20 days, work for all guest rooms. So they had 10 guest rooms. You clean all every day for 20 days. Now, how much is get for per guest room? You get $20 per guest room. So if you clean 20 rooms and you get $20 each, 20 by 20 is 400. Sorry. It's 10 guest rooms, sorry. 10 guest rooms. If you clean all 10 and you get 20 each, you make 200 per day. And you work for 20 days. So that's 200 by 20, which is 4,000. And for P. Adams, you work 172 hours, right? And 160 is irregular hours. And he gets double time for hours worked over 160. And the regular rate of pay is 15 per hour, right? Okay. All right, so I'll give you a few minutes. Now there's a form on the next page. All right, so sorry, Google Meet, I sent it sideways. Yeah. Now using all the information given, complete the form on the next page. NB, you are to round off numbers that are less than $1 to be sure to show your cut and working. Right, okay, cool. Yeah, round it off. Well, round up or down accordingly. Yo. Ooh. The Adams. Double time is 30. That's correct. Mm-hmm. You could put the names. That should be fine. How many marks it is? 20 marks. Sorry, nine. Nine. It's nine. 9 marks. Okay, if you do put any weekend, I think there may be 3 marks you might lose. Let me double check, right? Let me see. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. You have gross pay, right? So gross pay that's not hard to get. So that's 1 mark there, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, 5, and 6. Yeah. So you have six. You have 6 items for each person. There's 3 people, right? 6 by 3 is 18, so it's a half mark per item. So I think there's some marks awarded for the working, but based, like I said, I don't know. They never tell us how they mark in this center. They just have sometimes columns or figures that they give no marks for, but you have to include them so that the logic stays, right? They give marks for the still as worked. Um, it depends. It depends. It depends. All right. Yeah, comment on our bank rec video, right? So I don't understand the bank statement. Did you watch the tutorials on this topic? No. Maybe watch the tutorials on the topic first and then come back and check it out. No, I know, but it's just surprise, man. But at this stage, I shouldn't be surprised anymore. Yeah. But yeah, I think I had start promoting the channel a bit more on my classes. So all right, y'all need a few minutes again, or you all ready? All right, no problem. That's fine. Okay, cool. No problems. Here's some more time. If you look at the first sentence, Storecraft Cooperative was a small hotel consisting of 10 guest rooms. I'm doing the question. I'm doing it. I give people time, Mario. This water as it dries. Dries. All that come into mind. All that come into mind. Oh.
No, this is question one of West I'm getting no
All right. I want to start this one. All right, Shania. Simulator Spanish and problem. Okay, cool. It didn't take long to do per se, I just giving people time to do it. All right, so this is the May 2017. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna actually copy and paste my solution. This as well to save a little bit of time, right? Oh, okay, right. Kwame. Yo. Uh-huh. What's let me see. All right, let's put that to the top. Okay, cool. Let's zoom in here. You can see them? Different accounts that teachers from yeah, blood pressure. But in the chat, free fire, right? Okay, so for the gross pay for Vestiga, right? So Vestiga is a front desk manager, and she makes $3,900 per month. He or she. And we're doing Vestiga's fee for women. So Vestiga's pay is $3,900. You okay with that? All right, cool. Now the national insurance is 5% of that. So it's this by 5%. Right, so 5% of that is $195, right? Okay, pension plan is 3% of that. Right. Now the income tax is 10% after all statutory deductions. So what you have to do is find 10% of the gross pay minus these two. So you have to minus the statutory deductions from the gross pay and then find 10% in order to get the income tax. So it'll be equal to this. All right, minus this, minus this. Actually, I don't need to lock it, do I? No. All right, and then multiply that by this item here. Right, 359. Right, so it's 3,900 minus these two, and then find 10% of that. All right, the voluntary deductions for Vestiga was 200. All right, so your net pay is just 3,900 minus 1, 2, 3, 4 items. $3,029. Man say ready. All right, lovely. All right, okay. I'm taking questions on this item on the screen thus far. Anybody? Anything? All right, Google Meet, give me a G here now, just in case. All right, we have lots of moving parts in this question, so I'll check each one. All right, so if you guys are good with that, give me a quick G in the chat. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, cool. Right. You're worried for PoA, Zari. Don't be worried. Do the work. How I get it 200? They give it to us right here. See, voluntary deduction 200. Credit union. Get 400 for gross pay. How? For El Patty. For Patigo is housekeeper. Okay. Nah, that's per day. You have to multiply that by 20 days. Teller. Oh, you love it. Okay, thanks, Teller. Same one I did today. All right, lovely. All right, NBV. Right, so once again, right, so for the first employee, we just taken 1 month's salary. That's the gross pay. National insurance is 5% of that. Pension is 5% of that. Defined income tax is 10% of this minus the two of these things. So you take 3,900 minus these two and then find 10%. Voluntary deductions is, for Vestiga is $20. So, and a net pay is the gross pay minus all the deductions. Zari, could you expand? Why are you worried? I don't know. All right, tax I got 358, Tasha. 358, that's close enough. Because 358, right, so this, remember the question said to round off, right? You are to round off numbers that are less than $1. So if it's 358.88, you round it up to 359, right? But nothing wrong with that, right? Right, Solomon, I just ran it back. You okay? Income tax, I got 390. 390? Oh no, you just found 10% of this. No. You have to take this, subtract these two things from it, and then find 10% of what remains. Right? Lini? Okay, cool. Right, okay. Let's do Patigo, right? All right, so for Patigo now, let me zoom out a little bit. Right, Patigo. So Patigo, they said, no, go back in. They said about, so 20 days worked for all guest rooms, right? Now, they said here that El Patigo, the housekeeper, gets $20 per guest room per day. And Storecraft Cooperative owns a hotel consisting of 10 rooms, right? So she gets $20 per room per day. And she worked for 20 days with all the rooms. So every day, you're cleaning 10 rooms and you're getting 20. So $20, right? So $20 per room, and it's 10 rooms. So it's 20 by 10. That's 200. And you did that for 20 days. So 200 by 20 is 4,000. So your gross pay is 4,000. All right. We okay with that? Okay, cool. Right. Do I have to use pen for paper too? If you want to get your paper marked, yes. How we know it's 10 rooms? How we know it's 10 rooms? That's all. That's okay. Right. Now, national insurance is 5% of that. Pension is 3% of that. Now, the income tax. So, again, the income tax is 10% of the pay after deducting your statutory deductions. Just because it's in the question, that's what they said to do, right? So, the income tax is after statutory deductions is 10%. If it was 10% of gross pay, 10% of 4,000, yeah. Shy pretty. Why won't it be $20? Why wouldn't it be? Yes, reading is fun. Do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race too? Right. All we know is 10 rooms. Yeah. Shy pretty. What? Why wouldn't it be 20? Why wouldn't what be 20 specifically? No. All right. Zari. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that, Zari. Very good. And Free Fire, you're correct. All right, cool. Right. So the income tax is 10% of the gross pay minus these two deductions. So 200 and 120 is 320. 320 from 4,000 is 3680. So 10% of that should be 368. And the voluntary deductions for El Patigo is 300 for a bank loan. Right? The net pay is El Patigo's gross pay minus all of his deductions, which is 3,012. Well, it's actually $20 and 20 days, right? See, El Patigo work for 20 days, right? And it says it's $20 per room, and it's 10 rooms, right? So it's $20 per room, 10 rooms, and 20 days. Right? So I hope that helps. Right, 368, right? Which year is this? May 2017. La Bali Shea. Right. Tasha, 360 is income tax. That is correct, 360. Right, Google Meet. Give me a quick G if you guys are good with that. Quick Genie chat if you're good with that, please. And tax. Cool. Right. Okay. Question? Somebody? I did some music. Hey, Zaria, talk to me. What's up? Zaria, you there? The income tax? Okay, cool. All right, so income tax. So the question on top here tells us that income tax, hold on. All right, so the income tax after all statutory deductions. And if you look across to the left, the statutory deductions are the national insurance and the pension plan. So what they're saying here is just like the previous question, we have to subtract these figures, so these two figures here, from the gross pay before we apply the 10% to find income tax, right? So to find income tax, it's 4,000 minus these two figures here, right? And then the answer you get there, you'll multiply that by 10%. All right? So that's how I got it. All right? Hope that helps. You can let me know. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. And we have one more person, right? So P. Adams. So P. Adams worked 172 hours. Right? We're seeing that here, right? 172 hours. Cool. Now, let me go back up and see what they say about P. Adams. Right. So P. Adams is our cook. And P. Adams gets 15 per hour and double time for hours worked over 160 hours per month. So 160 hours is the regular time. Any time worked above that is overtime. And he or she worked 172. So 160 plus 12 is 172. So the 12 hours is the overtime. So for the first 160, P. Adams will earn $15 because that's regular time. 15 by 160. And for the extra 12, they'll earn double this, which is $30 per hour, right? So regular pay, $15 per hour by the 160. That's $2,400. And then the 15 by 2, which is the 30, by the 12. Sorry, question. So should I subtract the 5% first, then the 3%, and then the 10%? Or add the 5? To find what? Are you finding net pay? If that's the case, yeah, you had to subtract 5% and 3% first, and then multiply that by 10%, right? The remaining figure by 10%. So if you're talking about net pay, you're subtracting all. It don't matter the order in which you're subtracting. Right. So the gross pay will be the sum of 2,400 and 360. So once again, $15 per hour by 160 for the regular hours, right? So 15 by 160 is 2,400. Then she earns double time, right? So that's 15. 2. Oh. All right. So come on, man. Philip, what are you doing, man? All right. Okay, cool. Right. So 2760. Okay. Right. National insurance. So 5% of that. No. What did you? Right. 138. Pension, 3% of this. Income tax is 10% of after statutory deduction. So you have to add these two items, subtract it from this, and then find 10% of that figure. All right. So 254. Voluntary deductions. Does this person have any? No, this person has no voluntary deductions. So it'll be 2760 minus just 3 things instead of 4. We have 2285. Let's zoom out a little bit. Head blocking? No. All right, Google Meet, just give me a quick G if you're good with the Adams, the last one there, right? If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. It's not a problem. Okay, cool. All right, Shai, looking good. In class, people, how are you feeling with this one? The Storecraft. We okay? We good? Any questions? Anybody? Anything? Okay, Shai, we good? All right, cool. All right, lovely. So let's check the next question one time. May 2017, off the books. No, I don't have any changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. 10, not 12. Cool. And we'll zoom in one time, right? Nope. Right. Lisa Moore. So this is Jan 2015, by the way, right? Do I have a video on this topic? This is it. This is it. I do have a tutorial. All right. Which year's paper is this, Lavadi? This paper is Jan 2015, right? Right. Lisa Moore is a part-time worker with Bubbles Manufacturing Limited. She works sometimes as a baker and sometimes as a decorator as needed by the firm, and is paid at a special rate. During the first month of operation, her employee record card showed the following. Name, Lisa. Baker, 10 hours at overtime rate. Decorator is 20. Right, okay, hold on. They have a page missing. That's why. Just now, I didn't get the paper. This is Jan 2015. Okay. Sorry, guys, just give me a second. So the online people missing this piece too. Something went wrong. So, no, that's solutions, Crystal. Jan 2015, yeah. Sorry, guys. Let me actually close it off. Jan 2015. Raise your mic. All right, hold on. The microphone here. I just raise it. Does it mean raise the mic? Raise the volume on the mic? Actually, Yeah, wait. I might have been. I was throttled down. Look at that. I'm assuming it was Greg. I don't know. How it's talking now, Greg? A little clearer. Right. Hold on, guys. Let me get the hurl question. Copy that. There's Jan 2015. Oh wow, it's 3 pages. All right, cool. All right, so I guess I had to send this in Google Meet. Right, that's not okay. Google Meet, sorry. Yeah, I know how to do that, but let me organize it one time. Actually, hold on. It would not populate just now, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna do this quick on this computer. I can't show more what's that? Now? What time am I finishing, Solomon? About in about an hour. No, not that one. Not that. Okay, just give it a minute. You can join on that's my class actually. So unless you pay to be part of the class, yeah, you can't join that. Sorry. Right. Okay, it should be there now. Right, sorry. So you like this game? What game is that? Oh, that one there. Oh.
Sucks.
Nah, some of them serious.
The question we asked was
Oh, okay. I got you.
because Milo was like, we have English tomorrow.
All right, all right, just give me a second. I'm print. Are you in live tomorrow? Yeah, from 4 o'clock. You gonna see them on the screen. Nice, nice. All right, sorry. Let me pull back up my business. All right. Okay. All right. This is the last page. So when you're ready to finish print, I'll give you those. Last page.
Monday and Wednesday we have class from 1.
Well, I will message you in the chat and I will tell you what to do for tomorrow. I know tomorrow, or that's Spanish. That's Spanish, you're busy car, right? If too many people can't make it, I wouldn't bother. I'll just do myself. Right? Wednesday, so you mean Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday's evening. You know how the exam gonna come. You hope it come good, right? If it come good, I'll get energized and fresh. I want to come down from 1 o'clock. Cool. Right? The exam come, or the bottom bit earlier. Say, okay, boom, take a bath, cover yourself, and right? But Wednesday, Thursday, we hear from, well, I hear from 10 till 8. If you want to come. Not crazy for me.
Wait, so Chris, where is some 10 to 2? Is that on
Marks I win. Unless all they don't want the 10 o'clock session, I'll turn off Form 6. But even them, they have Caribbean studies on Tuesday and communication on Thursday. So even if I have a class Wednesday, right?
Yeah, no, I did from now on until Wednesday.
Plus, I spent plenty hours, and again, we still do the exams. I'm not looking to do anybody else.
Yeah, after my 1 hour.
That's fine.
I have lessons until 1. Yeah,
That's fine.
One is mad. Yeah, one mad.
There's no such thing as with us.
No one actually. Is it part of this question?
So the first two pages. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Oh, I was wondering why I was.
Yeah, correct.
Do you have a crook on your foot?
Why were you wearing people's footwear?
I'm so confused. I didn't
Right.
realize
Do I
that.
teach POV? Sorry, no, I don't. I used to, but I don't anymore. It doesn't have enough numbers for me to teach. I like numbers a lot. And calculations. So what am I coming back? Like right now? Yeah, like right now. I just given my paper. Okay, let me zoom in. See what I go on. All right, Bubbles Manufacturing is the proposed name for a firm, blah blah blah. Making specialty cakes. The owner is calculating possible labor costs for a 6-month period. The standard elements of these costs are as follows. Okay, designers, number of workers, 2. Pay arrangement, 6,000 per month each. So this one is a fixed salary, right? Yeah, maths. I love maths for sure. Yeah, that's fixed monthly salary. I do maths, yes. So maths will be from tomorrow. No, Tuesday, sorry. Tuesday and then whole day Wednesday, whole day Tuesday, right? Right, bakers, 5 bakers, $24 per hour, overtime to be paid at the rate of time and a half. Decorators, 3 decorators at $200 per unit. So there's a piece rate. So guys, I'm just gonna call it out as I go on, right? The bakers, that is an hourly rate, right? So name 2 jobs which should be treated as direct labor costs in the manufacturing account of Bubbles. So what do you think here? Designers, bakers, decorators. Yeah, bakers and decorators for sure. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. The designers, I have to double check that one because you see, they're not actually involved in production, but what they are doing is they are designing what will be made, right? So it's like intellectual property. Remember we said the intellectual property, things like franchises, trademarks, licenses, patents, copyrights, those things are direct. So I had to cross-check that. All right, Shimika, hi, good afternoon. And Shane, how are you going, guys? Right. State 2 methods of payment used by methods of compensation. All right, cool. Say 2 methods of compensation by Bubbles Manufacturing Limited. Right, so you have the first one we said is fixed monthly, right? Yeah, I do add maths as well. That's correct. Anyone want to answer this question? Sorry, there was a question I didn't answer. I feel like I'm not seeing some questions. We can join on Google Meet. That's from a class. And they pay a fee. So unless you're paying the fee, then you can't join. Sorry. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is manufacturing. So, but we just needed this first piece, right? 2 payment methods, right? So if we have fixed monthly rate, we have hourly rate, and we have piece rate, right? Yeah. So fixed monthly salary, fixed monthly rate, or fixed rate. Next one is hourly rate. The next one is piece rate, P-I-E-C-E. In the first 6 months of operation, hold on, just now. Is this the manufacturing part? Okay, we could bypass this part. Right? Calculate total costs. You all want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In the first 6 months of operation, Bubbles Manufacturing Limited records the following. Right? So designers, 6 months worked. Bakers, 138 hours per worker per month. 40 hours additional overtime, yeah. Yes, because it's 130 hours per workers per month. And then 40 hours additional of them in total. Decorators, average of 40 units per worker per month. Okay. Calculate any cost provided, all labor use 6. Okay, so they want to know, right, the total. So basically they want to know the gross wage for everybody here. Yo. Uh-huh. No. So no, 138 hours per worker per week. So usually how you go about it is you work 8 hours a day. 5 days a week. 8 by 5 is 40, and you have 4 weeks in a month. 4 by 40 is 160. So the 130 here is clearly their regular time. And the 40 hours additional overtime in total, right? What time will max be? Baker is 1, correct. How much is the fee? So P-shirt and flat, right? Okay. Shay. Tuesday, probably 4 o'clock. I want to aim for 1, but because PoA is Monday, I strongly suspect nobody coming for 1. So I will take a poll in the chat because I have some non-PoA people who do maths. If they want to come and start at 1, I will do such, right? Wednesday and Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Yeah. 5 people in total, agreed. All right, so this is Jan 2015. Okay with that. The pitch rate, flat rate, English Monday. Math going to be live too. Yes. Yo. In total, it look like for the whole 6 months. This says 40 hours additional overtime in total. So for everybody for the whole 6 months. Why do we find the weekly pay? Weekly pay. Who finding weekly pay for what? Yeah, class Monday from 4 o'clock for sure. Possibly 1 o'clock, but people are Spanish, so I mightn't start at 1. There's my wife calling. Hello, wife. All right. I did. That I can't remember. Nah, not for sure. Yeah, check the table in the kitchen. Something tell him on the couch. Yeah, that maybe Sheldon put it somewhere. Just so you know, he fell asleep 1:30 and woke up 3 o'clock. Yeah, he fell asleep 1:30 and woke up 3 o'clock. So there is hope. 3. Yeah, so we have hope for later. Yeah. I mean, when you see Sage, you might get energized. I don't know, but he and Ryu is playing. Yeah. All right, cool. Open by 7. So, he'll still be there, or you need a password? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. Natasha, check yesterday's replay. I did stock valuation yesterday. Kelly, yeah, on tomorrow. That's correct. Yes, videos explain it. That's correct. No, don't want it. Don't want it. Crying inside. Okay, cry all you want, but do the work or ask your questions. That's what we hear. Uh-huh. Huh? Yeah. Greg. Okay, basically, for every 2 hour class is 80 TT. Long story short. Yeah, Kelly. That's happened. Not every teacher's style will resonate with every student. You know, even mine. So no judgment on any teacher. I am when I say that, but I try. I try. I really try. All right. So this is the Jan 2015. You want a minute or two again? Are you all ready? Need some time again? All right. I could give you about 5 minutes again, right? We gotta correct it because we have 2014 to do, and hopefully we could do 2013 as well. Waiting for connection. We're talking about connection. Oh, hold on, just now. That apply yourself, I agree. For one designer, 18,000. Designer. Yeah, 2x6 is, sorry, 1x6 is 6,000. 6,000 by 6 is 36, actually. 36. For one designer is 36. Um, Usually, yes. Overthinking. Yep, that's happened. So you had to train yourself. What paper is this? Jan 2015. Jan 2015. Right. In total, yeah. No, no, it's just 40 by 24 by 1.5. Right? So 40 by 24 1. So that's 60 by that. Yeah, 1440 in total. Yeah. I won. Where I won? I won's video on TikTok. I commented on. Yes, Kelly, that's happened. I feel you. I totally feel you. All right, cool. This. All right, cool. Around 2015, right? Yeah. Wonder if I deleted it from the others. Dude. May 20, okay, I gotta check May 2017 real quick, guys. Sorry, give me a second. Oh, thank God. Thank the Lord. All right. Let me see what a Gwanda. And baby. Because we're not tricky. Okay, let me see what's going on. Right, so labor costs. Right, so for designers, yeah, so the salary per month is 6,000. They give us that here, right? So the number of months is 6, so that's 36,000 per designer. And you have 2 designers each, 2 designers. So in total is 72, right? All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Right, so for designers, it's 6,000 per month by 6 months. That's 36,000. And then by 2 is 70. So are we okay with 72 for the designers?
Yeah.
All right, bakers now. Right, we'll do bakers in some stages here. So the bakers, let me go back. So 138 hours per worker per month. You have 5 workers. So now, just by the way, because it's multiplication, you had different sequences in which you can multiply, right? So as we go along, right, if you have something different, there we go. Stefano Oliveri. That name sounds familiar. Sorry, Benjamin. Not sure. No, so I don't watch you chat all the time, Benjamin. Sorry. Blaine Popple. Yeah. This is the Jan 2015. Who's that? Benjamin or Blaine Popple? Right. 2015, yeah. 2015, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry guys. Right. Okay. Right. So number of hours worked per month per worker is 138. Right? Sorry, let me see if I can actually split this. All right, so for the bakers is 138, right? 138 per worker per month. You have 5 workers. So in all, the total number of hours worked is 690 per month. So every month, 5 bakers worked. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, every month, each of the 5 workers worked 138 hours. So 138 by 5 is 690 hours per month. And you have 6 workers. So in total, right? Over the 6 months, all 6 workers work 4,140, right? Cool. Now, 4140, which is the number of hours by $24 per hour, which is the rate here, is that 99,360. And then they had 40 hours additional overtime in total. And overtime is to be paid at a rate of time and a half. Time and a half is 1.5 times 24, which is 36. You have 40 hours in total, multiplied by 36 is 1440. When you add the overtime to the regular pay, you get 100,800. Want to recap of that? All right. So they tell us down here, for the bakers, you have 138 hours per worker per month, right? You have 5 workers. Also, right. So every month, 5 workers work 130 hours each. So in total, for the month, any given month, the total number of hours worked by all 5 in total is 690. 138 by 5 per month. For 6 months, it's 690 by that, which is 4140. Yeah? Now, total regular hours worked in 6 months is 4140. Cool. Now, the regular rate is $24 per hour. 4140 by 24 is 99,360. Now for the overtime. They work 40 hours additional overtime in total. Right? Now the question was this 40 part of the 138? I said no. All right? Nope. 40 hours additional overtime in total. They didn't say per person. All right? One Don underscore DD. It didn't matter the particular way you went about it. Because it's multiplication. So you could have done that first, you could have done 5 by 6 first, so 5 workers by 6 months, you could have done 138 by 6 first. Don't matter. I just did a per month one first, right? Right, so that's the regular hours. And then for the overtime, right, you had 40 hours additional overtime in total, right? And overtime is to be paid at a rate of time and a half. This is the regular rate. Time and a half is that rate, 24 multiplied by 1.5. How long ago? The second session started at 4. The first session was supposed to start at 1. Started at 1:45. Right. So 40 hours overtime by 36 is 1440. And you add the overtime to the regular pay, and we get that figure as a total. Right? Google Meet. Just give them a quick Genie chat if you're good with the bakers and the designers. Now, please and thanks. Right? If you guys need me to react on anything, give me a R. Please and thanks. Oh, wait. The camera working again, boy. Still stick. That's so strange. Okay. And we have decorators. So the decorators are 3 decorators, and they each earn 200 per cake. So average of 40 units per worker per month. So if you have 3 workers, and each of them making 40 per month, 3 by 40 is 120. As 1 month, how many months are you working for? 6. 120 by 6 is 720. So in all, over the 6 months, the total number of units made is 720. And they made 200 per unit. Right? The number of months, they told us that here. See? In the first 6 months of operation. Don D, right? Yeah. So if you see the working, so the number of units per worker per month is 40. You have 3 decorators. So in all, every month, they make 120 units together. There are 6 months that we tabulating for. So for the whole 6 months, they all make 720 units. And if they're making 200 per unit, you have to multiply these two to get the 144,000. Right? And the total labor cost for the whole 6 months is the sum of the designer costs, the baker's costs, and the decorators, which gives us 316,800. All right, cool. All right, Google Meet, just give me a quick G figure with the decorators and the total fees and tax. Thank you. All right. In class, people, are we okay with stuff on the screen there? Any questions? Anybody? Anything? Sure. All right. Now, we're not done with this question, interestingly enough. All right? Huh? Yeah. So we still have Lisa Money. So the page that was kind of extracted by itself, right? We have Lisa. Right, so Lisa is a part-time worker with Bubbles. She works sometimes as a baker, sometimes a decorator, as needed by the firm, and is paid at a special rate. During the first month of operation, her employee record card showed the following. Lisa, 10 hours as a baker at overtime and 20 units as a decorator. The firm is required to withhold 10% of an employee's gross pay as Social Security, and Lisa has asked that the firm send $250 to her credit union every month. We have to calculate Lisa's gross pay, her gross pay and net pay for the first month. Right, label the amounts clearly and show the working use to arrive at each amount. So what I'll do is I'll put the right. So on the top of the screen is Lisa's information, and on the bottom we have the regular rates of pay for designers, bakers, and decorators. Right. So designers is irrelevant. Sorry. So it's just bakers and decorators that we're interested in, right? Okay, so I'll give you a couple minutes to sort of that, and then we go from there. I'm gonna double check this out. Yes, man. Right, so 10 hours at overtime rate. Overtime rate is time and a half. That's 36. That's 360. 20 by 200 is 4,000. 4,360 is 360. Right. Is this PoA or accounting? PoA. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the special rate for the as a baker, she was paid overtime, the overtime rate. Mm-hmm. Right, look, it says baker 10 hours. And as a decorator, 20 units. Ready? Sorry. Tomorrow we're doing ratios, and I have an outstanding cash projections question. We're already calling cash flow statements, which are not. They are not cash flow statements. No, because I teach people how to do cash flow statements. Those are not that. All right, where was we? Right, so for Lisa, right, 10 hours at overtime. As a baker, 24 per hour, overtime is time and a half. Half of 24 is 12, 24 on top is 36. So 10 by 36 is 360. She makes 20 units as a decorator. You get 200 per unit. So 20 by 200 is 4,000. 4,000 plus 360 is 4,360. Cool. So let me take a look at there first, right? So 4,360. All right, hold on. Put that on. Right. So number of hours all over time, that. Number of units, per rate, 4,000. All right, so gross pay, 4,360. Now, the firm is required to withhold 10% of an employee's gross pay as Social Security, and Lisa has asked that the firm send $250 to her credit union every month. So 10% of 4,360 is 436, and then there's a flat rate of 250. You add those together, you get 686. And when you subtract that from 4,360, you get 3,674. Are we okay with that in class, people? Anybody, anything, any questions, any problems, anything? Google Meet if you guys good with that last one. Again, a quick Genie chat. Please and thanks. All right, one more time. So Lisa worked 10 hours as a baker at the overtime rate. Regular rate for a baker was $24 per hour. Right, so time and a half means 1.5 times 24. 24 by 1.5 is 36. And she worked 10 hours, right? So 10 by 36 is 360. As a baker, she made 20 units. The rate, sorry, as a decorator, sorry, she made 20 units. Each unit is paid for at 200 per unit, right? Made 20, so 20 by 200 is 4,000. We add those together, her gross pay is 4,360. Now it then says that the firm is required to withhold 10% of an employee's gross pay as Social Security. So we take out 10% of that, which is 436. And then Lisa has asked that the firm send $250 to her credit union every month. So you're also taking out $250. So you take out both of these, right? From that, giving you $36.74. Right? What is costing and accounting and budgeting? Kiara. Hey Kiara, how are you doing? Afternoon. Right. It's really a keep accounting thing, but they did push it back onto the C6 syllabus, right? Budgets, we did budgets Friday. Go on my YouTube channel, check out the live from Friday. We also did the absorption costing questions there. We still have the cash projections to do tomorrow, right? In addition to the ratios, right? So I can't get into all that right now, sorry. Right. What are some of the predictions? Solomon. You know how I feel, Solomon. Right. Everybody asking. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of that now. And let's do 2014. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Kiara. What's doing tomorrow? Tomorrow ratios and the 1 or 2 cash projections questions that exist. You could actually do a 150 for this. Right, so Pets Plus prepares weekly payrolls for 2 employees hired on the following terms. So you have a sales attendant, Normal rated pay is $10 per hour. The normal hours or days is 40 hours per week, and the time work is 45 hours. Okay. Cashier, 120 per day, 5 days, and she work 5 days. Okay. 2 basic source documents, distinguish between voluntary and statutory. Complete the PETS Plus payroll provided as an insert. Oh, do we have the insert? Oh, I don't have the insert, do I? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna check real quick, right? That I see if it does be there. Hey, it did be there, boy. It's Jan 2014 or May 2014? I put it as May. Oh, this is a stock valuation worksheet. Oh shit. Wow. Wait, so open the wrong paper. Oh, is it really May 2014? Yeah, it is May. So why open Jan? But I didn't read. That's the idiot. All right, cool. Let me see. Doth they have a set? This one. Hey, look thing. Nice. Right, who's that? Shy Pretty. Which country is that? Trinidad? Oh. Right, okay. So does the same rule as the ratio apply to this fine to fine? Does the same rule as ratio? I have no idea what you're talking about. The same as ratios. All right, let me work it now, and I'll see if I answer your question in the weekend. All right. Let's try that one more time. One more time. I was like, that's more than 10 pages. You're not supposed to do that. Clearly. Frank. Stock valuation. I did yesterday. That's correct. Yeah. PETS Plus, right. So we have a cashier, 2 basic source documents. Right. So we have overtime, 1.5 times the normal, time and a half. Social Security tax deductible, pension fund tax deductible, income tax. Okay, cool. So here what I'm going to do. I'm going to rotate this that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this on top. Oh, right. That be, whoop, no. Right, cool. Okay, so that would. Let me cast see the stuff. Okay, hold on. I know what to do. Okay. That down. Okay, see if we look at that. Yeah, Kelly. It's posted. You can check the, both of them. I did ask on both of them. Right. Is there any other accounting feature? Yeah, I think it have values to the professionals. Say everything business. I don't know how much accounts it actually does. Cuban's channel has one or two from back in like 2020, I think. Sylvan James. There's another girl from Jamaica. I think I can't remember her name. And there's one more person. Let's see, set PoA should find them. What predictions? I predict there'll be 5 questions with different parts, different topics from the CSEC PoA syllabus. Last page is no more. This could be the last question for the day, if anything. That's plus, right? So I would have just not done the 2013 question, which is a short one. 2012 a little longer. Right. How much accounts do they normally give? Right. Sorry, which one is that like in the video so I can see? Reem, thanks very much. That's a big share, boy. 10 people. I appreciate the support. Yeah, stock valuation was yesterday. How much accounts in normally? There's 5 questions. Let's say accounts like T accounts. That could vary. That could have no normal for that. I keep talking to this mic from YouTube. It's not that mic. Oh, okay, cool. Uh-huh. They say nothing. You know, that's a good question. Hold on. Let me see what the question is saying in truth. They say nothing. All right. Normal days or hours, overtime hours. Normal pay, overtime pay. Gross pay. So you add in normal pay and overtime pay to gross pay. Okay, cool. Sorry, to get gross pay. Social Security is 5% of it. Pension is 5%. So taxable income. Yeah, you might be right, you know. Taxable income might be the gross pay minus these 2 things. And then find your tax. Yeah. Yeah, round off. Yeah. Are there going to be income statements where they start with gross profit? It's possible, but no one knows for sure. Pull out. All right. Will you do the paper after it comes out? Once I get it, I'll do it. Yeah. Total deductions would be Social Security, pension fund, and income tax. So what they didn't tell us, but somehow they expected us to figure it out, was that to get the income tax, you have to multiply 10% by taxable income, right? But taxable income is the gross pay minus these two things. So like in the previous questions we did, they spelled it out for us. What we're supposed to do to find taxable income. We're supposed to do that. All right. No. The deductions are deducted from gross pay to find net pay. All right. So the Social Security, pension fund, and income tax are all deductions. So you add all of them together to get total, and you take that total away from the gross pay to get net pay. Partnerships. Hold on. One in May, June 2024, right? Okay. Right. Partnerships. Partnerships there.
Dollar signs are the top enough.
Nah. Appropriation accounts, right? Yeah. All right, so this is May 2014. Right, so normal hours. So sales attendant, $10 per hour time. Okay, right. So normal hours is 40, right? Overtime hours is 5. Normal pay therefore 10 by 40 is 400. Overtime is time and a half. That's $15 for 75. So 475 for sales attendant. Anybody? All right, you gone? All right, so tomorrow. All right, so what I'll do, let me just pull the solution real fast, right? Yeah, all payroll.
What needs to be sold on this is like, right? The amount of answers.
Yeah.
And the amount of like notes.
All right, Nyla. See ya.
Like individually.
All right, so how to zoom in here, right? What we'll do is we'll lock the cells here. Okay, 400% is kind of big. So let me go out so we could see. I think that should be okay. That's all right? All right, 1 second. And then, of course, we're going to pull this item. Right, so for the sales attendant, like I said, so the rate, that's what that. So the rate is $10 per hour, right? And the time, and for regular pay, so rate is 10. So what? What time here? Sales? Not here? Where's your account must get switch places? Yeah, I know. I added more information, right? Because I found anyway, right. So the regular rate is $10 per hour. Regular hours is 40. 10 by 40 is 400, right? Overtime is time and a half, right? They told us that down here. Overtime is time and a half. All right. So rate, so 15, right? And it's 5 hours overtime because it said 45 hours and the regular is 40. So the surplus or the excess here is 5 hours. So 15 by 5 is 75. I know my head blocking. Sorry about that. Right. Now for the cashier is 120 per day by 5 days. All right. 120 by 5 is 600. Cool. We had no overtime for the cashier. So the total earnings for each of them is 475 and 600. Agreed? All right. Now, Social Security 5%. 5%. Pension fund 1%. Total deduct. Now again, these are rounded figures, yeah? All right, so your taxable income is your gross wages minus these deductions here. 475 minus 29. So I get 29 is 24 plus 25. 600 minus 36 is 564, right? Yes. What is, huh? Oh. Yeah, that's no. Right. So 475 minus that is 447, 600 minus that is 564. Finding 10% of these figures, right? So that's about, again, 45 and 56, right? And to find net pay, you're taking, I don't have total deductions. Oh, yeah, so it's this plus the income tax minus from the gross wages. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So this one, that's close enough. Yeah, 10% of taxable income. That's correct. Right. Zeno, JDE, predictions. Solomon, like, oh my God. Just now. Hey guys. All right, hold on. So guys, yeah, we got to wrap up there. So Google Meet, sorry, that one was kind of rushed, right? So guys, tomorrow you all have English and some of you have Spanish, right? Cool. So what we're going to do is as follows. For 11, I'm not starting. Oh, 1. Okay. Emmanuel. All right. Right. So we are here. So guess where we are, really and truly? Day before the exam is, well, not tomorrow, but right. So right. So I know everybody have English, right? Some people have Spanish, some have P as the afternoon. So we obviously can't have class. We can't have class 8 to 10, 10 to 12. 1 to 3 is the earliest for some people, right? But majority will come after Spanish, right? So we have the last 2 sessions tomorrow evening, right? I'll send a poll in the chat and see if anybody want to come one, and I'll let you know if I can accommodate. If I can, I will. If I can't, I'll let you know. All right, guys. Have a good evening. I'll see you guys next time. So Google Meet, I'll go on there. See you guys next time. Bye. All right. YouTube, TikTok, my predictions. I'll tell you what, right? I don't like to make predictions because, okay, I'll see you. Let me just show you, right? This is my file where I keep all the topics that have come on the exam, right? Ari, the line is recorded on YouTube. You could always go and watch it, right? Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, Mr. Balisu. All right. Good afternoon. How you doing?
We have 4 exams this week.
That's awful.
Is it 4 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
5 exams this week.
Right. So check this, right? You have cash book here, bank rec, LLCs, partnerships, budgets with payroll apparently, and double entry. Actual T accounts came last, right? Yeah. Everything good? Alright, glad to hear that, man. Yeah, they keep asking me for predictions. I send them by you to check your video. But I see I'll try and throw in my 2 cents, right?
Yeah.
But just again, all right, guys, I'll see you all.
5 exams.
Right? I don't like making predictions because you never know what's going to come or how it's going to come, right? Okay, all right, I'll see you. Vanessa, good luck tomorrow. All right. There, guys. So check it. Cash book interpretation. Yeah, man, Jaziri. They gave you a cash book this year and asked you to interpret what came on it, right? Manufacturing, production budget. So budgets came 2 years in a row, technically, right? Cooperatives, right? Accounting software, bookkeeper skills, journal entries, that kind of thing. Didn't repeat, right? Petty cash, this was the first time. Actually, no, they wrote it previously, I think in a January exam, right? So they put it here. Receipts and payments, bank recs, manufacturing 2 years in a row, business plan, LLCs, like it skip a year, right? They came back in 2024. Absorption costing, which yeah, they kind of messed up that. Anyhow, we did it Friday, right? Debtors T account, right? Writing off bad debts, provision for bad debts, creditors control. Bit of a mishmash. Yeah. Ratios, income statement, bank rec. Wow, okay. Payroll deduction, schedule of cash projections. This year was the scattershot year. They tried to put as much as they could. And then partnerships and petty cash. So yeah, petty cash came 2 years in a row, where it was absent for about 10 years before that. Last time before that was 2011. Right? Yeah, guys. 2019, balance sheet, double entry, actual double entry, right? Partnerships again. Oh, hey, Bali. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, thanks very much for the compliment. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Sorry, I'm going to do multiple choice. Yes, multiple choice will take place. Well, let me tell you. Right, so that multiple choice paper is. Where are we going? Here, the 20th of May, right? So the AdMats people have their exam on the 15th here. I plan to start the multiple choice right after, or on that same day, because not everybody actually none of my AdMats students in my PoA class and vice versa, right? So I could actually start that way before. But I had to bring back some Form 4s because they're chomping at the bit to start back, right? So those multiple choice, now, of course, some all are Chem and History and Geo and that kind of thing, right? So we'll organize that, right? Yeah, so I'll try to get in about between 8 and 10 multiple choice sessions, right? Sarah Gobodan. Sarah, I went to school with a couple of brothers, Aeneas and Barnaby Gobodan. Don Ross, like, I'm talking like back in like 87, 88. So a long time. Then they migrated to New York. I wonder if your family. Anyhow, video on it. I do. Ari, fantastic. Saving my life. Happy to do so. Never did production budget. We did budgets Friday, Natasha. You can check it out. And I have tutorials on it on my channel, right? Yeah. Right. Partnerships. Now, partnerships used to come every year, guys. It used to come every year. Right? And then if you look at 2018, cash book, ratios, control accounts, right? So there are too many topics to tell you possibly what, I could tell you what might possibly come. Anything, right? They repeat sometimes, most times they don't. They like this budget thing as their pet project. Somebody figures themselves a guru and decide that's a good thing to bring. But that's the business, not mine. My job is to teach it, right? Anyhow, but let's compare the January exams to the the May exam and see if things repeat or they don't, right? Look, okay, so in January 2024, error correction, balance sheet with a horizontal format. Receipts and payments, bank recs. Okay, hold on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open a second instance of this sheet. We're going to do a left and right split. Right, so we'll keep the January on the left-hand side, and we'll put the May papers on the right-hand side. All right, guys? My son crying? Right. So check it. So limited companies theory. So they didn't really have much actual accounts. So it came here, but it came way more there, right? Provision or allowance for bad debts, no, right? So there's almost no cash book, or there's a bank rec, right? But piece of it, not the whole thing, right? And then the bank rec statement here in 2020, yeah, that was a little more involved, right? Accounting concept. So you see, it didn't really have any crossover, not much, if at all, right? Let's go back our next. Let's check 2023, right? Sorry, my gum disintegrated. I should have a long time. You're still there, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. So 2023, double entry. We had a balance of the accounts, absorption costing, trial balance, errors, and provision for bad debts. Partnerships, cooperatives, right? So cooperatives came both January and May, right? They had no manufacturing in January. They had no production or errors. They had error correct, but just the types. They didn't give you actual things to correct, right? No control accounts in January. Cash book and double entry, some balancing off here. Accounting software, they had the journal and error correction, and employees pay, payroll, that kind of stuff, right? So again, not much of a crossover. Maybe just the what was the cooperatives, right? Let's see if that continues or if it happened before, right? Control accounts, no. Statutory deduction definition, ethical principles employees pay, no, right? Depreciation, they brought that as the first time in a while they bring that. Receipts and, sorry, hold on, depreciation and ratios, anything? No, right? Error correction, journal entries, trade discount, balance sheet, error correction, balance sheet, anything? Anybody see anything? No. Ratios, right? Receivables, stock valuation, right? Right. So again, nothing. There was no crossover, no significant crossover from January to the May exam in 2022, right? So what we saw that in 2024 and 2023. Let me go back into 2021, right? Just in case, right? Income statement with adjustments, no. Balance sheet extract, no. Bad debt write-off, writing off bad debts journal entries. So something very kind of niche or uncommon, very, very rare. They happen to bring it in both those exams. That's unusual. Purpose of control accounts and bank rec theory. So I had the bank rec theory here. They didn't actually have a bank rec statement, and they had the actual statement here. Control accounts, anything? Creditors control, okay, maybe. So a slight crossover. Accounting theory, sales budget, cash budget, schedule of cash projections. Right. We have our ratios here. It couldn't be much because you have the income statement and bank rec next, right? Cash book, discount received T accounts, utilities T account. No cash book. No T account per se. Debtors T account. Right. Trial balance. Interesting. You have a trial balance preparation here. Error correction. No. Nothing. Right. So very, very little crossover. So what you're saying is that it's rare that what came on Jan is coming back in May. Right. Well, you've seen it for yourself, right, guys? Who's Webley? Naya, we're going through the past papers based on topics. That's what we're doing now, right? We're looking for some kind of pattern we could take a look at, right? So what came in January? Okay, that's a good question, Natasha. What came in January this year, right? So we're talking about books of original entry. Wow, original, right? Books of original entry and cash book. Now, it was a short cash book. It was a weird way to bring the question, right? Employees pay, right? Books of original entry, double entry, accounting principles, ratios, ratio analysis, depreciation, manufacturing, markup and cost calculations, stock valuation, AFCO. So that means they could bring it back at 5-4 life, yeah? And error correction and suspense. So based on what we've seen between 2021 and 2024, most of this mightn't come. You have a chance for a little crossover, right? But those crossovers are very, very minor, and they tend to be with small things. The one exception we saw was the cooperatives, I think, between 2022. Yes, hold on, just one. I'm going to answer one of my students. He now asked if he left his bowls in class. You all could probably see it. What's it wrong? No. Okay, wait. Yeah, that's his bowls there. And leave the bowls. Yes, pressure in the dance. Nope, microphone go away. Out of my frame. I say. Okay. Anyway. Nothing to demand. Right, cool. Okay, yeah. So these things, based on what we've seen between 2021 and 2024, unlike what is cost calc? Okay, Naya, hold on, just now. what do you mean by cost calculations is, if in your manufacturing account, let me just say, if in your manufacturing account, the last figure, the total cost of production for everything, cost of goods manufactured, right? Is, let me say an easy figure. Let me say is $20,000, right? And let me say you make 1,000 units. The cost per unit will be the total cost, 20,000 divided by the number of units. So 20 divided by 1 is just 20. Sorry, 20,000 divided by 1 is 20. It's 20, right? Tafari, I don't know. Tafari, no. I see Springer and thought Kerwin come through. Yeah, he's passed through now and again. Right, Javaya afternoon, right. Okay, right. Now the other thing, Naya, is they might tell you, okay, the cost per unit is 20 and you have a markup of, let me say, 50%. So what they'll ask you to do is find the markup. The markup is simply 50% of the cost. 50% is a half, right? Half of 20 is 10. And then what they'll do is they'll say, find the selling price per unit. The selling price is the cost per unit, 20, plus the markup of 10, right? I know it's kind of hard to follow, talking up in the air. Go and check my manufacturing past paper questions on my channel. You'll see them there, all right? Jari, Mario. I'm taking a roll there, boy. Right. Right. So what we're saying is that based on what we saw just now, it looks like what came in January is very unlikely to come in May based on just those 4 years we look at, right? Let's just look at a couple more, all right? 2019, no, there was no 2020 paper 2 because of COVID, right? See, no exam due to COVID-19, right? Is that a new, no, okay, right. Right, so 29, oh, stop it. Right, so 2019, give yourself, hey, give yourself, right. 2019, right, let me see, cash book and source documents. No. Income statement with adjustment. No, but they brought a balance sheet, right? Partnerships. I'll tell you, before 2021, partnerships was like on every paper. Israel, what we're doing is we're looking at the topics that came on each paper year by year for a set number of years. And we're looking to see if it have a pattern, right? What we're doing now is checking the January paper topics to the May paper topics. And what we've seen so far in the 2020s is there's little, it's very, very rare that anything that came in January comes in May. All right. Now, I'm not saying that pattern is going to continue this week, but we're saying based on what we're seeing, right, on the list of topics, that's the reality, right? Yeah, I don't know. What's going on? Right. So appropriation might come. Sure, I know. Yeah, right. So hold on. Let me continue, right? So partnerships, I would tell you used to come, but if we looked on the when we saw the 2020s papers, partnerships is few and far between, right? Let me finish 2019. Error correction theory, bank recs, LLCs. Nope. Ratios. Nope. Right. Now we'll do one more, which is 2018, but the syllabus was revamped in 2017 for first examination in 2018, right? And therefore, prior to that mightn't count. But again, it might be worth looking at because they might still use the logic they used back then, even if the syllabus changed, right? Ari, I feel that as we writing it on our wheel and spinning. Ari, you know, I feel let's take the page of the syllabus, put it on our wall, and somebody just sniff some black powder, black salt, black pepper, sorry, and sneeze, And wherever the snot fly, wherever the biggest bugger is, that's, oh, do that one, right? That's what I feel. To me, like I say, don't look at that rhyme or reason, but we analyze it now, right? Right? Okay, cool. 2018, what we have? Balance sheet. Hold on, sorry. Using all of the credits. So they never ask for that again, because clearly people don't know what to do. Balance sheet, no. Payroll, no. Income records, though, not any syllabus now, right? So accruals, prepayments, provision for balance T account, no. LLCs, no. Non-profit, well, again, that off the syllabus, most of it, right? So nothing, right? It's like night and day, nothing crossover at all, right? I check 2017. Yeah, so you'll notice that up to this paper had 7 questions on it, because prior to the May 2017, right, they used to have 7 questions. Sorry, big cheese, big over chest. All right, Ari, right. When you're done, can you say all the topics you think coming? I don't know. But okay, let me finish what I'm doing, and I'll make a statement, right? I can't promise I'm gonna tell you exactly what coming. I don't know. And the danger with that is that I will say things and I'll still say I don't know. And people will still get vexed if what I say do come. So me are doing that, right? But we will see. I will let you all make a decision, right? So the live will be up. You could go and tell people, hey, go and check out adaptation last live from the 2 hour mark, go down the road, right? Or 2 hour and 10-minute mark, whatever the case is, right? Right, like I said, partnerships is the only exception. See, both January and right. Stock valuation, no. Service organization, income statement, and cash book. Income statement depreciation. This was not the usual one. Right, this was more math based than it was like a trial balance and thing. So I don't even count on that. Actually, no, I would. Right, depreciation, no. Manufacturing, no. Hold on, wait, sorry. Cash book here and cash book there. Sorry, I now see it. Okay, so 2017 has the most crossover yet, right? Still not everything. J Bones, the comments flying, boy. Let me see. Hold on, let me catch up. Trevor, yeah, people feeling scared, and that's normal, that's natural. I mean, some people didn't have proper teachers. Some people didn't have teachers at all. Some people were sick, you know. I'm gonna get hunt by these students. Yeah, I know. There'll be a manufacturing account. J Bones. All right. As long as LLCs will come. Zeno, check out my tutorials on LLCs. It's not that bad. I promise it's not that bad. The way I cook for PoA, Karen. Yeah, no, you alone. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you have some time. Look, like I said, you can't learn the whole syllabus in 48 hours, right? You don't even have that, right? You have tomorrow, basically. And tomorrow I have English and Spanish. So if it is, look, I don't like to say things like this, but let me be real, right? My first year in this iteration of my lessons, I had two of my students. They were very, very good students, right? I very much enjoyed teaching them. I mean, the whole class, but these two were a little exceptional, right? And they were doing with me all 3 of my subjects, maths, ad maths, and PoA. PoA, they were mashing up everything. Maths, they were getting real good. Ad maths, nah. No matter how I tried, it just wasn't clicking. So I told the parents in like March, I say, here what? This doesn't make sense. And I love ad maths. I love to teach ad maths and see people realize how to do it. You know, it's like magic. But I was very practical about it. I said, here what? If we spend time on this, it will take away from their ability to do the other stuff. What I meant by that is that it wasn't working out, right? And we could use that time to do more PoA and more maths and nail down those ones, as opposed to fighting down to possibly pass. Oh, you reach back? Okay, I'm still on a live here, going through some topics. We spot a pattern that what comes in January is highly unlikely to come in May, June, right? So you can check out the January paper and see what not to study. But again, I always say, know everything. Yeah. Yeah, man, later. Right. Sorry, hold on. Let me see. Subscriptions, no, that gone. Yeah, gone since 2017. When was the last time apportionment and allocation came? JDE, that is Form 6. That is a Form 6 topic. The last absorption costing question, Jan 2023, had made mention of it, but you didn't have to find them. You didn't have to find out They gave you the figures, long story short. Right. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying is that, long story short, I told them, look, if we cut this ad maths weight, you will soar with the PoA and the maths. And so they did. And of course, they both failed the ad maths. Wasn't happy about that, but you know. So in your opinion, what is the hardest topic? Right now? You see, okay, here what? That's a tough question. And I'll tell you why. I will tell you, in the context of if you have a proper teacher and you start in Form 4 and you're going through and you don't miss your days, one of the hardest topics will be the income statement and the balance sheet with full adjustments. Because at that point in your accounting career, you're still early in it, and it's a gap to jump in terms of your ability, but it is doable. But of course, you'd have to make plenty of mistakes, rework your stuff. But when you do that, in my opinion, right, this is from personal experience, when you do that, the things thereafter, even though they're later in the syllabus, do not seem as difficult. Now, again, this could be very different for each. Sorry, I have to answer this call. Hello? Yeah, in about 10 minutes. Who's that? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, shucks, yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, I just need a minute to run upstairs and come back. I forgot my cousin came down. And it was his birthday, but I forget what I was saying. Yeah, so we cut the ad maths. I wasn't happy with. Yeah, but sorry, the hardest topic to me would be income statement and balance sheet with full adjustments. After that, when you jump that gap, the stuff after supposed to become easier. But again, it depends on the quality of your teacher, how much you pay attention and take notes in class. Because really and truly, like the subscription stuff, that nonprofit, that was also a learning curve, right? Partnership appropriation, limited companies, in my opinion, wasn't that hard. But I was very much math-based, and those things are math-based as well. Guys, income records is not on the syllabus, no. Shah Cinema, cash flow statements is not. The statement of cash projections is. Guys, give me 2 minutes, I'm coming back. Okay, sorry. Yeah, no. Cousin passed down. Right, so cash flow incomplete, no. Google the syllabus should be no. Don't leak nothing. You don't want that. Telling me if they may harder, I get no. Yeah, they go take it out. Yeah, we want to study that. All right. Right. Okay. Yeah. So the hardest topic depends on different factors. But I would say usually you see adjustments like T accounts for accruals, prepayments, depreciation, provision for bad debts. People, this is sort out there. They just drop off a POA and lock it off. And it's kind of limp along for the rest of the syllabus and kind of follow some stuff. And yeah, but that's why I say to me is the hardest one, because it's the one that's a turning point for a lot of people. But that could differ by person, by school, by country, by anyhow, right? Anyway, I don't have too much longer again. Right, that means if you get in your 40s, one at a tree, right? So you're getting 40,000. So yeah, boy, I hope that'd be nice. 50 would be great, but I'm not gonna be selfish or ungrateful. I very much like to celebrate every milestone. I see in 39, 917, yeah, boy. And TikTok are doing so bad, TikTok, it took me a while to get to the 5, and now I'm broaching 7, boy. You see? Denise, yeah. So them do us unjust maths and PoA back to back. That is not back to back, 69.50. Almost at 7. If I could get 7,500, 10,000 would be great. But again, I don't want to be greedy. I don't put out content to justify it, right? Tips on what to do when answering my question for PoA. It depends on the question, right? I can still get my back to balance. Ari, I replied to a comment on TikTok. Somebody said my bachelor master still get 2. I say same. Well, I get 1, you know. So you compare 2020. Yeah, we started that early. Yeah, we did that one first, as a matter of fact. Quando, what going on? Sorry, on my TikTok there, TikTok feed. People then. Right, okay. Let me just check 2016, I have a bone to pick with 2016. 2016 mashed up some of my students' work. There were errors in the first question and the second question. Yeah, that's a famous, almost undoable question, right? The first 2 parts you could do, but they were difficult for the average student. The last part couldn't be done. I sent it to my teacher who taught me in Form 6, right? He real good. He could not get it out. The amount of stuff he had to change based on his knowledge of all the years teaching for it to balance, I was like, yeah, no student gonna think, I couldn't think of it, much less the average student. Anyhow, like I said, partnerships used to feature on everything, right? That was like the baby, right? Balance sheet, double entry. No, not in me. Cash book. No. Provision for bad debts, accruals, prepayments. No. Income statement, adjustments for 3 months. Income statement. Right. Nope. LLCs. No. Cooperatives. Okay, correct. So this is a corrected trial balance. It wasn't a full cooperative. Double entry into accounts. I wouldn't count this now. So yeah, so maybe, like I said, minimal crossover. Right? Struggling with everything right now. Thrive through thoughts. When they say everything, like life in general, it's like PoA. Because for the PoA, I'd say go on my channel. Make a list. Do partnerships, LLCs, manufacturing, bank recs, errors. Hope for the best. Right? Paper 2 is 9. No, paper 2 is 100 marks here. 5 questions, each are 20 marks. Israel, they know how, I know they're good on a curve, but what is the average person to get to? I don't know. They never say anything. I hope they make exams easy this year. Can I do this from next year? What do they do from next year? Oh, okay. Go through the entire paper. If it doesn't balance, continue and complete it. Okay, cool. All right. So, ladies and gents, we took a look at Jan compared to May. The conclusion we have reached is that what comes on January does not usually cross over to May. You know what? Let me just 2015. As we done here, let me do 2015 real fast, right? Right. Cash book. Correctional errors. No. Like I said, partnerships is the exception. That one is like, that was solved every paper, right? Balance sheet with adjustments. Extract here. So no, that'll count. T accounts, revenue, expenditure, depreciation, balance sheet, extracts. Nope. Manufacturing, I've seen manufacturing here, but with control accounts and a trading account after that. So, oh, we did this one. No, they were very different. This was not regular manufacturing. This is just calculation. This should actually be payroll. I should change that. Okay. Incomplete records, again, not on the syllabus anymore, so not relevant. And LLCs, not there. Cooperatives, so like Mr. Bali was saying, either cooperative, right? Go through everything tomorrow now. No, I can't. I can't. That's what I was doing for the past few weeks. I was going through everything in a time frame, to make it more manageable and digestible. All the lives available anonymous on my YouTube, right? They're coming down Tuesday. Tuesday, right? have a crash course available for a price here. Yeah, for 800 TT, you're getting the 16 sessions from this year, 15 from last year. It has some overlap, but it have some topics I did in 2024. I didn't get to do in 2025, and I threw in a receipts and payments account, right? Video, anyhow. But again, you could also check out the free stuff on my channel. I have plenty, right? Part income statement, no, right? Cash booking, right? Okay, cool, right? So here we're going on, right? Let me close off this piece here, open back up this one, and go to me. All right, so what we're looking for now is we're looking for, right, let me check 2021 and 22, right? The account, ledger, identification, trial balance. No, bad debts, provision, transaction analysis. You have a little T account, something here, but with petty cash. I wouldn't count that. Bad debts. No. Ratios. No. Payroll. Cash projections. No. Partnerships. No. Right? So again, it was kind of new for me that on this paper I had no partnerships. Right? All right. So that's 2021 and 2022. Right? Let me check 2022 and 2023. Bad grammar at the end there for me. Oh, yeah, no worry. Right, okay, sorry, I'll just check any comments. Past this last year. All right, lovely. Right, petty cash. That was strange because it did come 2 years in a row. It's not here? No, right. Look, sorry. Petty cash. Reason and preparation of one, and then petty cash. Sorry, I missed that one. That's the only thing that transfer from one, and that's not usual, I'm telling you. With the exception of partnerships, that's not something that used to happen at all, right? Can I go in a little bit more here, boy? Okay, right. Right, so petty cash, no, right. Receipts and payments account, no. Manufacturing came 2 years in a row as question 3. With accounting concepts here, right. Business plan and LLCs, no. Absorption costing, no. But this came in the January of 2023. Right? So it didn't repeat from 2022 May to 2023. Okay, cool. Now 2023 to 2024. Cash book. This interpretation here, they gave you the cash book. Here you had to do it, right? Sorry. Accounting skills, error correction, employees pay. You have an employees pay here. So that's one, right? Error correction, no. Manufacturing, no. Production budget, yeah. So we had 2 things that repeat, right? What's that? Payroll and production budget, but they were small pieces, right? Oh, yeah, they kind of in the same question. So this and this came across here. Control accounts theory, error correction theory, yeah, none of that. Cooperatives, nope, right? You had LLCs and partnerships together, which is unusual. It used to happen more often in the earlys, right? But yeah. Sorry, let me see. So when doing the income statement, what is one tip you would give me? Read your question carefully, especially the additional information, and always look to see if it's with sales or if they give you any trial balance gross profit. And always check to make sure to see what happened to your provision for bad debts. If it increasing, it's part of your expenses. If it decreasing, you have to add that to gross profit. And as I say that, always check for any additional revenues, right? Practice, memorize. Practice questions. Right, good, yeah. Jan, 2025 topics. Do you have them? Yeah, I do. We looked at them before. I'll pull them up just now. Right? Yeah, the practice, right? What is production? What is Israel? Go on my channel and look for it. It's there. It's not hard. We actually did it on Friday in I want to say crash course, but it's not really a crash course. It's the past paper revision. So go on my channel. You're on it there. So just look for the live from Friday, right? It should be there. Right. So as you can see, from 1 year to the next, you're not seeing stuff. So 2023 to 2024 was a slight exception because you had the employees pay the production budget, both coming back here, right? Cash, but like I said, these 2 were markedly different. So I wouldn't count it as repeating, to be honest. But actually, you probably should. Correction, no. Now, check what I want to do, right? Check what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to analyze every other year, right? And this will be the last thing I do because, I have my parents watching my son since about 1:30. Even though he took an hour and a half nap, I don't want to overdo the thing, right? Right, so you open my next one, put that there, put that there. Right, 2023, right, and then we're going to do 2021. Of course, we're going to zoom in. You can't see anything otherwise, right? So 2021. Let me check every order here, right? Actually, you know what? Let me start with 2021 and 2019. Just in case. Balance sheet. No. Double entry to your accounts. No. Partnerships. Partnerships. Okay. Receipts and payments. In case it wasn't clear, what I'm doing, I'm looking on the right and then compare to the left. All right. CXCDB, no, it's not. Matter of fact, it's not at all. Right. LLCs. 2019 was a strange year, so maybe that was wrong to compare. All right. So there isn't much crossover from the every other year thing, right? Do you remember this tier accounts question 2019, to be honest? Huh? All right. But yeah, as we could see, there wasn't much crossover. Partnerships. Again, partnerships is the exception because that was the pet. They used to like partnerships real plenty. No payroll, scheduler cash projections. Let me just check something in January real quick. Jan 2022. Never budgets question I saw somewhere. Jan 2021. Jan, so in May and Jan 21, they had a scheduler cash projection. Ew, okay, I had to do that. I didn't get to do the cash projection with my class yesterday. Never tried chat. Yeah, I did. That's true, J Bones. It could be, right? But it depends on the prompts. It's the answer you get is only as good as the prompts you give it. Right? So garbage in, garbage out. All right, okay. So now we're gonna do 2023, right? So I'll put 2021 there. Okay, let me see. Debtors T account ledger identification trial balance. Nope. Writing of bad debts provisions transaction as creditors control. Never control accounts theory here. I wouldn't count that. Ratios income statement bank rec. Yeah, 2021 was a kind of crappy year, to be honest. Ratios, income statement, bank rec, no. Payroll, right? So you have payroll. Deduction, scheduler cash projections, no. And then partnerships. So again, partnerships, they decided to drop off, bringing that every year. For who knows what reason, right? Okay. 2023. 2020. Okay, we do have 2025. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll check 2022 and 2024, right? Okay. Petty cash versus cash book. Not the same, but maybe you could count that, right? Check preparation, ledger accounts. Nah, none of that. I wouldn't even count as double entry. That's not. But we saw double entry, didn't we? We saw it. Was it 2023? Right here. No, but okay, I know what that is. That's just like one or two accounts. Okay, cool. Receipts and payments bank recs. No. Manufacturing. No. Business plan. LLCs. LLCs. So one topic repeat. Absorption costing. No. Second, huh? Sorry, just give me a sec. I have to send a quick link to somebody. Right. Hope no manufacturing come that easy. Does don't give a all right, cool he does. Right. I have completely unrelated question. Does depreciation go on the debit or credit side travel? Credit. You see both online or no? What you might see online is you might see the depreciation expense in the debit side of the travelers. The accumulated depreciation, that's the contrast. Could never go on the debit side as an error. LLC is not coming. Well, it didn't come last year. Sorry, it came last year, so it's unlikely to come this year. Unlikely. It also, hold on, January. January, where are you? Shall we zoom in, please? Didn't come January. If it didn't come January, it could come in May. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys. I had a wrap up. All right. I saw a video where I fixing a trial balance and he put the AC in debits, right? Send me that video, no, Ari. You have my email. Send me either email, find me on Instagram, find me on TikTok. Send me that link now. Peters, I think tomorrow. Yeah, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock to 6, and then a little half hour break, and then 6:30 to 8:30, and then we call it Georgia. I would have started from 1 because some people do have Spanish, but I'll wait on everybody from my class to come. And plus, I have so many things backing up. I'm gonna try and use the morning and early afternoon period to get that stuff done. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, whole days maths. Friday, I'll get a little breathing space again because Friday is the maths exam. After that, yeah, my assistant handling my maths class for me. She seems to be doing well with it. So I'll probably leave that in her capable hands. Start back on Form 4s, and then we'll talk about multiple choice for PoA and maths near to that time. Yeah. Why Jan easier than you find so? You could still do Jan, no? Just Jan 2026. Right. Yeah, guys. So it might have been instructive to look at 2023. Hold on. Yeah, so sorry, no. Yeah, we would have mean hold on. So 2024. So Jan 24. Did we look at if stuff repeats in January? No, it didn't. Yeah. Because that's the next thing I would have done like a 4-year analysis or like a 3-year, like Jan and May for 2 consecutive years from exam because we just did Jan and Jan, May and May, but we didn't do Jan, May. So sometimes you might have to expand your time horizon. Right? So if you all want to do that, you all could feel free. Be careful about who you are watching this with. Student Hub for exam. Yeah. Go to trusted sources. Yeah, I agree. All right, folks. Good. That thing is one of the longest lives I ever do. I went about an hour after my class finished, yes, to 3 hours. Nah, but my son, he a little fussy. It's time to go home, and yeah, my parents probably want to take a little rest. Although he did sleep for an hour and a half. Guys, thanks very much for staying with me this long. I appreciate your company. Right, I was glad we got to look at the past papers. Right, so anybody who was asking for my predictions, like I said, I put the knowledge in your hands, so you can make your own predictions based on what we looked at. Right. I never learned in school at PoA, you know, myself, which is before this. Excellent. WRS on fire. Yeah, that's good. So good job. Keep up the good work, right? Okay, so again, I thoroughly believe that you should know your whole syllabus. I know that is difficult to do because I know some of you all have teachers who don't resonate with you, teachers who don't come. Some of you all miss school because you're ill, or you might have whatever challenges. So I know that it's not practical for everybody to know the whole syllabus. So I'm not, as they say, you had to check your privilege, right? So it doesn't change my belief that you should know your whole syllabus, because if you're learning accounting, you're learning accounting, not just to sit the exam, right? Maybe it's something you pick up because you didn't know what it was and you had to pick an extra subject, whatever the case was. So you did that and you're just going to discard it after. By all means, that's perfectly fine, right? Accounting is not for every single person to do for the rest of their life, right? But you're still going to have to budget your own money, right? J Bones. Yeah, you could, yeah. Moderator, connections. Cooperatives, absorption costs, and cooperatives. You know what? Anybody who's telling all of them things, I would always be very suspicious of, right? The truth is, they like the new stuff they put on the syllabus, the production, the budgets. They like it, right? like it, as we could see, it came a few times, right? The absorption cost then came 2022 May, June, and then 2023 Jan. It didn't come 2024 at all, or in 2025 yet, right? They like cooperatives, but as we saw, yeah, so cooperatives didn't come last year, and it didn't come in January. Hey guys, look at that. Cooperatives didn't come last year, and it didn't come in January, right? So maybe, right? Used to be a moderator. Yeah, okay. They could prove that. You know, cooperatives, okay. Absorption costs, budgets. Yeah, they like their budgets. So I would tell you, yeah. And they're not too hard. You can check out the report from Friday. Check that one out. Right? And the absorption costing. No King Quadratic 69, I will not tell them to leak any paper. That's a waste of time and effort. Anytime the papers had leaked, I was always very annoyed and let it go very quickly because it didn't make sense. I can't about it, right? Because we spend so much time prepping, right? New album drop. Yeah, you guys don't want a leak. It hurts too many people. Now I understand why some people would want that because again they don't feel ready, and it might not be their fault. They might not have had good teachers who were in school at all. They mightn't have had the means to go to school or whatever the case is. They might have been ill. Some people were sick, some people have diseases, right? So I understand. And really and truly, education shouldn't be confined to a specific time frame like this. And honestly, you guys, I mean, if you have the means, you could probably do over or do the topics on your own time, right? But then I think from next year, they're trying to do that. They're trying to do where you could actually do like three exams, and if you pass each one, you get the grade. So you don't have to know the whole syllabus for the whole exam, right? I think that might be a good thing for a lot of people, right? Let them take my SBM paper one. That's what I did in May 2020 for COVID, right? And yeah, guys. So Mr. or Miss Ice, right? Thanks for the input there. I would ask you who that lesson teacher was, but I don't really want to know anymore. It's all right. Full syllable crash course from 12 a.m. I did basically the majority of the syllabus in lives since about past couple months, right? So check it out. My channel is there. It's free. I have 16 years of past paper questions up, right? Do your thing, right? I'm not a fan of crash courses or marathon sessions. I think those have their place for certain students and certain teachers. It's not my thing, right? Yeah. And yeah, I have two young children. I have a 2.5-year-old and a 6-month-old. I have not had a full night's sleep in 2.5 years. Yeah. Past this week was pressure. Tuesday I was up at 2 a.m. I couldn't go back to sleep. That doesn't usually happen. And I had 10 hours of class that day. So it was tough. Sorry, I had 8 hours of class over the course of 10 hours, right? It was tough. Then Wednesday night, I ended up going to bed 2 o'clock as opposed to waking up 2 o'clock. And then a couple of nights I got up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because the baby was crying. And my wife just couldn't have enough energy to deal with it. Right? Yeah, prayer is a good thing to do. Kelly, yeah, PoA tomorrow from 4 o'clock for sure. Right? Yeah. Folks, I will keep talking if you give me a chance because I like to do that. And yeah, guys, but don't panic, right? Things sounding tough. Yeah, but you know what? As you go through life, things get tougher and you have to get tougher too. There's predictions. Here's Dari. Yeah, Dari, we Kelly, how many channels you on? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Dari, we kind of talked about already, but not any way you might think. We took a look at what came for about 7-8 years. We compared January to May. We saw that stuff in January do usually come back in May. And we also compared the consecutive years in May for about 5-6 years. And we saw that stuff do usually repeat, very, very few and far between. Paper 3. I know on my channel. I have Tasha, if you're doing paper 3, message me now. I did the paper 3s for like the 2020. So I have like January and, well, not, yeah, maybe not me. Paper 3 for like 5 years. I've had the solutions. I might have them behind a paywall because I can't give everything away for free. But you could, but if you're doing paper 3, let me know. I have solutions, video solutions. In Quadratic, we saw pictures from possibly Jamaica or Guyana. I'm not sure what country it was, to be honest. It could be neither of those two. We saw pictures where people were taking pictures in the exam of the paper. There was a false, somebody created a false paper and circulated it. It was real shippiness. So we thought we know how to pass it. Well, I see SORX people, teachers do much. I don't know why. Predictions so far, paper 2. VP, hallelujah. VP, here what to do. I'm going to log off now, right? The replay will be up very soon after. Go and watch the last hour of the replay, right? So yeah, so it's comparing papers. You're doing paper 3? All right, Natasha, here what to do. You can message me on Instagram. I usually get messages there faster. You can try me on TikTok. I'll give him a number there, and then we can discuss the paper 3s, right? Anyhow, guys, that's about it. Thanks again. Have a good night. Don't stay up too late studying, ladies and gents. This is the last thing I will say. I could tell you from the past 2.5 years of getting an average of 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep per night for 2.5 years, and it's not straight sleep. It's broken up 2 or 3 times a night. You don't want to go into an exam with that kind of sleep deficit. All right? Not good. Anyhow. Yeah, adaptation. It's the same name across all channels, just to make it easy to find.